In my unboxing video of the OPPO Reno 3 Pro, we touched upon the cameras, which are arguably the strongest aspect of the Reno 3 Pro. Today in this video, let's dig deeper and see how good or how bad these cameras are. Hey guys, Ash here from C4E Tech and welcome to my camera review of the OPPO Reno 3 Pro. If you do end up finding this video interesting, please subscribe and turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon. So let's now get this camera review started. So we have a quad camera set up to the back, and the primary camera here is a 64 megapixel sensor with a f1.8 lens. It seems to be Samsung's ISOCELL Bright GW1, though OPPO does not implicitly state it anywhere. Under good lighting conditions, the Reno 3 Pro takes really good looking pictures. It shoots 16 megapixels by default, and as you can see, the pictures turn out crisp and the dynamic range is good too. Now what I really liked here is how natural the colors were. Now this image, for example, it's what you'd see with a lot of brands. Saturated greens and blues, it looks great, doesn't it? But it isn't exactly what your eyes are seeing. What I actually saw was this. The first image that was shot with Dazzle Color on. So here you do kind of get the best of both worlds in a way. Here's another set. You can see what Dazzle Color actually does here. Dazzle Color makes everything pop. It might be something you'd like to use from time to time for a quick social media share, a rich social media share, but it might not be something you'd want to use at all times. The Reno 3 Pro shoots 16 megapixels by default, like I said, and this can be up to 64 megapixels if need be. This adds a little more detail while blowing up the file size to around 20-25 megabytes, up from the regular 4 to 5 MB. It's also worth mentioning that OPPO allows for a complete manual mode. Here we can have access to 3 of the 4 cameras, the wide, regular and zoom. And do note that all 3 have auto mode for focus, which can be controlled here. Not common even with flagships. OPPO also has provided an extra HD option that utilizes interpolation to make for 108 megapixel images. But since this is interpolation, the file sizes end up lesser than that of 64 megapixel shots, about 17 to 22 MB. By the way, a quick shout out to OPPO's excellent panorama mode. Detail levels and even the stitching, they're excellent. And that said, moving on to low light, OPPO has included a dedicated low light mode that they call Ultra Dark, and it does extremely well to bring out details and clean up the images. You can see the difference between the regular shot and the Ultra Dark mode for yourself. Like in this instance, the entire scene is brighter and the detail levels are also better. And there's also a tripod mode included. So if you can put your phone down somewhere for a few seconds while shooting, then you can improve the already excellent low light performance by getting something even better. This is extremely clean and crisp imaging. Of course, you can't get this handheld. That is a bummer, but hey, it's called a tripod mode for a reason, right? And the results, they're on a whole different level. Now the second sensor that OPPO has gone for on the Reno 3 Pro is one with a 120 degree field of view. It's an 8 megapixel sensor with an f2.2 wide angle lens. OPPO have done well. Look at the dynamic range in this shot. The highlights are not blown. There's reasonably good detail in the shadows, and there is autofocus too. Here's another side-by-side example. The wide angle also allows for macro shots like this now. Pretty sweet, right? Moving on, we have a 13 megapixel sensor with a f2.4 telephoto lens that makes for 2x optical zoom. There's also 5x hybrid zoom, and the results are quite good. And well, it is just digital. If you really need to, there's a 20x digital zoom option also available here. So overall, the range right from the ultra wide angle all the way up to 20x digital zoom, it is huge and it continues to perform well across the range. Now the fourth camera, it is a 2 megapixel monochrome sensor. It's used for depth reduction. OPPO does well with skin tones here. The edge reduction, it's quite good too, and I like how the background's not blown out here. There's also support for portrait video, but this one's not up to the mark. While no implementation has been perfect so far, I feel OPPO could have done a better job right here. There is also an AI beauty mode and video zoom available. There's support for 4K videos at up to 30 FPS. The footage here is pretty similar to what we saw with the stills. Crisp, natural colors, excellent dynamic range, but, yes, there is a but, there's no stabilization, and that is why you end up seeing this jittery footage. Even at 1080p 60 FPS, there is an ultra steady option that makes for really steady and smooth footage. If you want even more stabilization, then switch to Ultra Steady Pro, hit this toggle here. Now the videos, they get captured via the wide angle camera, and there is heavier software stabilization on it. This is similar to what Samsung does with their Super Steady mode. The 44 megapixel selfie camera also allows for portrait video thanks to a dedicated 2 megapixel depth sensor here. And while that might be okay, the regular videos, they also came out detailed and rich. OPPO's done a very good job here. Even with the stills, the pictures had ample detail, and the skin tones, that's something OPPO's nailed. Now the highlight of this selfie camera, it's gotta be low light performance. The multi-frame noise reduction algorithms that we've seen used for rear cameras, that's something OPPO have managed to implement for the selfie camera. So that is why we get such good images even under dark lighting conditions. And here's another example. And with that, we get to the end of this OPPO Reno 3 Pro's camera review. Overall, OPPO seems to have added a very competent set of cameras here for the Reno 3 Pro. But is this enough to justify that asking price? What do you think? Leave a comment down below. And with that, we get to the end of this video. Thumbs up, thumbs down based on whatever you felt about it. Subscribe, turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon if you haven't yet. And thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4 Retech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.